This is recording.
So what Clark said when he interviewed his grandmother, he said the thing that stands out for him and his one tip for this process was unflinching honesty. Like, don't try to, don't sugarcoat something that shouldn't be. Is basically,
all right.
you know what I mean? So,
That'd be hard to do with my grandmother.
well, yeah. So since we're on the subject, why don't you share your memory of your grandmother?
Yes, my
And
grandmother.
who's your mother's mother?
Yeah, it was actually her mother too. Emily was still alive for a little while I was growing up.
So a grandmother and a great grandmother?
Yeah,
Really?
but she was rarely accessible. She was already.
So which was which?
Emily was Om's mother.
Okay.
Yeah, but she was already frail, and but she had she was one of those inhabitants of Zurich, who were ahead of their time actually. At that time, women didn't have a voting right, but she had help around her homestead. So she would tell that male guy, the gardener, and what to vote in the upcoming election. So she would actually cast her vote through him,
Yeah.
Yeah, but then she died. I think she died pretty quick. And then Om was left, and Om resided in.
And this is Ursula's mother.
This is Ursula's mother. Yeah,
Okay.
Om resided in St. Moritz
Okay.
year round.
Okay. And describe her.
And we would, it's gonna come to that. We would go visit her. We would go visit her for winter vacation, usually, sport break or so.
Yeah.
And she was one of the most removed persons I've ever known.
No kidding.
Yeah, she had like no interest in kids or whatsoever. I can't say I've ever seen her in a dress. All I've ever seen her was her nightgown. She would show up mid to late morning. She would sit in the living room where she had her setup, which was a card game, patience.
It's like solitaire or something, right?
Yeah, she would play that endlessly. She would chain smoke. Not only her nails, but her whole fingers and all. They were nicotine stained yellow. When we'd come in or so, she would briefly look up above the rim of her glasses and be instantly annoyed and. She didn't participate in anything. She did her own thing. Yeah, she was.
Is she the one who had the monkey?
No, that was Omali.
Omali had
Yeah,
the monkey.
Omali had the monkey.
Yeah.
And it was a mean monkey too.
Yeah.
The Chappelly.
Chappelly?
Chappelly was his name.
So how was he mean?
Yeah, he was mean because she had dogs too. So he would pick on the dogs. He would let himself drop from a tree onto the dog and then pick on his ears and whatnot.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering because we've never had this conversation before in this particular way. So I'm wondering, I guess because I remember you talking about Om, but somehow it never registered with me that was your mother's mother. So tell me about how they related to each other. What was their relationship like?
Distant, almost just so in her own world, in her own, she rarely participated in.
Now wait a minute. So is that because your mother and Yaya are half sisters?
Half sisters.
So did they have the same mother?
Yeah, but different dads.
Different dads.
Yeah.
Okay. So they both had this creepy woman for a mother.
Right. Who was a mother? I mean, their their biological mother, but no more than, not much more than that,
Wow.
you know, yeah. So there was
Did
never,
your mother ever talk about what it was like her relationship with her mother?
No, she didn't.
Never talked about
No,
that.
No, because it wasn't there, you know.
Yeah.
We could see that as kids, you know.
Yeah.
You know how you can't get nothing by kids, really.
Oh yeah.
We knew right away, whoa.
She sounds pretty creepy.
This woman, we're best off if she just sits over there doing her games and.
Yeah. Did she? Oh, you said she lived in St. Moritz year round.
Yeah,
So
she
you
did.
guys would just visit her. She never lived with you.
No,
Okay.
no. I think she would she would participate in family
Yeah,
affairs
okay.
sometimes, you know. She had some relationships into.
So talk about your some other family members. Okay, so that was a grandmother and a great grandmother. Were there other grandparents that you remember?
No, not that I remember.
Well, aunts and
There
uncles.
were some aunts and uncles,
So who were
but
they?
they all seemed to be doing their own thing. They
Mm.
lived far apart from each other. I would only meet them at funerals, here and there. Uncle Uli was the one I knew best. He
Hans
was,
Uli, right?
Hans Uli,
Yeah.
yeah. He was a lawyer, had his own practice in Zurich, and was really successful.
And he was how? So, but he wasn't your mother's brother or your father's brother. How?
I'm not my father's.
It was your mother's cousin, maybe?
Yeah, I think
You
he
think
was
they were
my
first
mother's
cousins?
cousin. They had a fairly good relationship, and so.
Right.
But he too, he was always busy, you know,
Yeah.
and rarely to be seen other than funerals and
Right.
whatnot.
And he had a
And-
daughter, right?
He had a daughter, yeah,
Christina or something?
who what?
Well, was her name Christina or something?
No. I forget, but the daughter moved away early on. She moved to Scandinavia, and
Right. Wasn't she in Iceland?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think she's still there.
Okay. You don't remember her name?
I would have to think really hard.
Okay, well,
Yeah, my mother and her somewhat had a relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
she came to visit my mother once a year or so.
and then your father had
Yeah.
one brother, right?
Yeah, Hans.
The other Hans Müller.
You met him, right?
Yeah.
The other Hans.
Hans and
Yeah.
her, what was her name? Hermione?
Hermine.
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 Yeah, she was
Yeah,
French,
she
right?
was French Swiss, yeah.
Right.
But back to, then there was another uncle who was also successful, and he was successful in tapestry, and he made fine linen and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah, he had.
What was his name?
His name was Charlie.
Charlie what?
Charlie.
Mueller?
No, I don't think so. Maybe Natalie or so.
So, but again, then he wasn't an actual uncle. Because,
To me, he was. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean,
saw-
he wasn't the brother of either of your parents.
No.
No.
No. So I met him once at the funeral, and he came in a Cadillac. He drove a Cadillac, and I asked him, Uncle Charlie, why do you drive a Cadillac? And he said, well, it's very simple, you know. It's really as good or a better car as a Mercedes, yet it is 10,000 less. So that was his reason.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty smart.
Yeah, but it's an American car.
Yeah.
True. So,
Hold on, here's a good place to stop for right now.
okay.
Gonna go ahead and hit that.